Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're looking at the first ever live-action Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu.
In a world where people collect Pokemon to do battle, Tim Goodman comes to the bustling Rhyme City and meets a talking Pikachu who helps Tim search for his missing father.
Now we didn't know this was actually based off a already existing video game back in 2016. I assumed, is this some part of Pokemon we didn't see? But they actually did that. And for once, it's not about Ash Ketchum.
Yes, and it was very strange. It wasn't about Ash. Ash in the trash. Yeah. And no Team Rocket.
And people were kind of pissed about that. I mean, it wasn't a grand spectacle, but people were expecting them to show up. Now, there is a part of the movie where they have this thing called Argas, and people think, because of the purple, and, it's used for evil things, and they're thinking maybe that's the introduction to the Team Rocket organization, and maybe the next movie will actually have the Team Rocket we know. Because they're saying, why weren't they in the movie? And all one of the first things they asked was out and said, no, they did not appear in Detective Pikachu. And people were like, why?
Yes.
Why? I guess they're too busy chasing Ash to chase after this Pikachu. We already captured one, you want us to get two?
But we also were wondering, because it's such a long-running franchise, 20-some years, maybe they thought it was too much to try to find what elements would be the best to represent in this one short movie based on 20-some years. So I kind of can understand why they went a different route with a much loved Pokemon, but not necessarily the Pikachu that we know.
Right. And it was pretty funny hearing Ryan Reynolds after, you hear Deadpool and some other characters he's done. It's funny hearing him do a Pikachu.
Yes, but he made sure his voice was different. It was, it was softer, it was gentler, it wasn't as Deadpool-y.
Right.
So.
And funny considering that they almost went with Danny DeVito before they chose Ryan Reynolds. I was kind of shocked.
I've liked Danny DeVito in many things, but I can say that I cannot picture him having voiced Pikachu.
Right.
I can't.
Someone did suggest if they bring in Team Rocket, he could probably voice Meowth if they need a big celebrity voice.
I can see that. Yeah, I could see Meowth. I could definitely see Meowth.
And I was like, yeah, any other role, no, just that.
I can see Meowth.
Now for the characters, we had to get used to a whole new cast of characters because they said it wasn't Ash and Brock and Misty or the other characters we've seen in the Pokemon anime. It takes place in the same universe, which they've confirmed with Mewtwo. It does take place in the same universe, and it's way after the first animated movie. So we're just seeing a whole new world and whole new slew of almost a new slew of Pokemons, new slew of characters, new environments, and an actually darker storyline, which does remind you of the earlier Pokemon movies when they would tackle darker themes, and people were kind of how the tone shifts from the show, which is lighthearted and funny, and then you get to the movies and they get kind of darker or more fantastical, and that's kind of what happened with this movie, because it was different from how the trailers portrayed it. It seemed like this really fun, wacky adventure, and then you get to the movie, those parts are in there. When you get down to the actual story, it's like an actual detective story where it's pretty serious. If they don't solve this mystery, bad things will happen.
Absolutely. I think they did a great job translating into this movie. And as we said, we had Ryan Reynolds. He did a fantastic job. And Justice Smith, who we recently saw was in the last Jurassic Park movie, we didn't know because we literally just got to see this movie last week. He did a great job as being a former trainer who was looking for his missing dad. And then Catherine Newton, who, if you're a Supernatural fan, the CW show, then you know her as Castiel's daughter. And it was I recognize the voice. And finally it's wait a minute, that's her. And I realized who it was. So it was great that she's gotten to a major motion picture because she's always had the acting chops, and she did a fantastic job. And then you also had Ken Watanabe, who I'm familiar with from many movies, including The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, and he's a much older Ken Watanabe, but again, his voice, I was I know that's him, and it was him. Rita Ora, I never recognized her. And I do like some of her songs, but I was so shocked at the end to find out it was Rita Ora who played the scientist who was doing the study on the Mewtwo.
Yes. And, like I said, there's quite a bit of stars in here. And some big names were all these new characters. We were very surprised, and all these people had their own little Pokemon where they fit with their personality or their job. Like the police chief had a Snubbull, which I guess they couldn't do a Growlithe or something. There was a Ditto. The girl had a Psyduck, which you see a lot with Misty, a
Yes.
Psyduck. And here we realized that they didn't have all the Pokemon say, like they say their names. Like Mr. Mime didn't say, Mr. Mime, there was no Psyduck or Papa Sa. Nobody did that because I guess they didn't want to do all those voice
that
actors.
was really strange because you're so used to seeing it. And I think I would have welcomed that. I would have been excited to see it line up with the series itself. But it was a decision they made, but the movie still worked.
Right. And you're so used to hearing those sound effects if you watch the anime, so it was weird just them not saying much, or they just made other sounds. So maybe that's so they didn't have to get like all the original voices that did these characters throughout the years and have them in place because they had so many Pokemon in here as well.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I think that really worked in that the Ben 10 franchise could take a lesson from if they do a reboot theatrical movie is they had so many, as you said, of the Pokemon we were familiar with appear, and they did a fantastic job of translating them into the human arena where they really looked like the Pokemon you knew.
That's right.
They didn't look out of place, and they all looked genuine. And one of the disappointments when we did see the Ben 10 Alien Force movies that were live action is they would have one or two aliens. And here they had about 10 Pokemon or more when they got to some of the scenes where they had
like
the larger scenes, the arena, right. And I think that they could take a lesson from this and see how to translate the aliens into a human environment successfully and give us more of what we want to see.
Exactly.
And they did a great job
and
of doing that.
And they can do it longer than 5 seconds and you think it's going to break your budget. Because they, like you said, they did show a lot. And people were concerned that the Pokemon were going to look creepy and freaky and not right.
Like your Sonic?
Right. And then when they finally got to them, I'm like, wow, that looks exactly like the Pokemon. They actually looked realistic. So in some cases, they have gotten better at translating the stuff in live action. Just somehow, they've missed the ball with Sonic. Don't know how. But I'm glad that concern was put to rest after seeing how well they looked in the movie.
So this was a fantastic venture that they undertook, and I don't know for a fact, I'm sure you guys do, but with the success of this, there's got to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Or sequels.
Yeah, actually, I didn't find out till like way after, a little bit after we saw the movie, for sure. And it's one of the highest grossing films of 2019 and the second highest grossing video game movie of all time, because usually video game films tend to be pretty crappy and they aren't anything like the video game, or there are changes to where it's not even the same thing.
For me, Mortal Kombat.
And they did announce, yes, they're going to do a sequel, and they're doing a Red and Blue movie, I think. But the thing is, when you consider all that, though I think it's hilarious, all that, and then the one thing someone said, and most people agree, they said the next movie you should do a Team Rocket movie.
Yes,
they don't mean the organization. They mean with Jesse.
There's only one Team Rocket. All the others do not exist in my world. The only valid Team Rocket are Jesse and James.
And
that's
that's right.
Yes.
So yes.
Boba Fett. That's it.
Yes, people were waiting to say you need to give them a movie live action or animated, because I even have an idea of what they could do for a Team Rocket movie, because that could be just really help this franchise so much, because people have probably been wanting that for years.
That would be fantastic. And not only was it a critical success, but a box office success that with a budget of 150 million or 160 million, it grossed over 431 million worldwide. So yeah, we know there's sequels coming, and I can't wait to see them. And yes, as you said, make part of those sequels a Team Rocket movie, and maybe have Trashy Ash appear in the Team Rocket movie make a quick appearance.
Right, because that would be
great.
a great reverse for Ash is kind of the cameo instead of the main character if it's not his movie.
And in case you're wondering why I keep saying that, well, years ago on Tumblr, someone had made this meme because there were books called Elf on the Shelf, and then someone did Ash in the Trash. And so now I keep saying Trashy Ash in honor of that meme. So that's why I keep saying it's not because I don't like the character or anything. I love the show. The character's great. Seeing him grow, loving Team Rocket, but I keep saying Trashy Ash. Trashy Ash because
where is the trashy Ash in the trash? I'm like, why do you keep calling him that? What's wrong with you? So, and you express more concern for Team Rocket anyway, because when we get some of these things happen to these kids, nothing phases you. Part of it because it's like it's animated and nothing that bad's gonna happen to them unless they're going that route. When Team Rocket gets in trouble, oh my gosh, you go into panic mode. It's like, my children!
So, this is a great movie and can't wait to see more. We know Sylveon, you absolutely were ecstatic for it coming out because Sylveon loves Pokemon.
Yeah.
Now, if any of you others have seen this movie, let us know your opinions in the comments below. Also, while you're at it, just let us know whom your favorite Pokemon is.
Right.
And this question we keep asking, how badly do you want to see a Team Rocket movie?
Yes.
Should we do a petition for a Team Rocket movie?
Yes, maybe we should.
And Pause on Animation begin the petition. Let us know.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Pika, pika.